Hi, dear friends. Welcome to HeartBook, a channel for sharing knowledge and comprehensive self-development through good books. Today, I would like to share with you an anxious thought called, do you feel happy with your current job? At Fudan University in Shanghai, there is a class called The Suffering of Work. This class was by Professor Luong Vin An, and it left me with a lot of thoughts. According to a calculation in a book called The Revolution of Learning, on average, each of us will have to work from between the ages of 18 and 65. If you work 40 hours a week, you will lose 100,000 hours of work in your lifetime. If we subtract sleep time, working time will be the most important time in most people's lives. This means you will spend a third of your life working. So, are you happy to work every day now? Or do you feel like working every day is a miserable day, but because of life, you have to endure it? What is the best way to work that makes us feel that I am not wasting this life? These are probably questions that I firmly believe are unanswered problems. For many people in the class, the suffering of work, including new graduates as well as those who have worked for many years, when the teacher asks the question, how do you feel about your current job? No matter what, it didn't take long for complaints to come pouring in. Every night when I got home, I felt very tired. Every Sunday I had to face Monday, and I hated it. I was attached to it. I've been doing this job for 8 years, but looking back, I haven't built any value. I always do odd jobs, repeating them day after day, feeling like I'm a robot. After listening, the lecturer summed up with a sentence. The suffering of today's work is not physical suffering, but mental confusion. Thinking about it, it is true, isn't it? Many times, the suffering in your work is not due to the physical body. The hardship is due to mental exhaustion. I still remember in the class of a monk, someone saying that seeing is very true. I really like it, and I want to immediately follow you to learn and practice, but unfortunately now I can't let go of my work because I'm too busy. This teacher replied that you don't have to quit your job to be able to practice. Working is also practicing. Philosopher Inamori Kazuo also once said that the best practice for humanity is work. None of us can be separated from work and can create any masterpiece of life. Likewise, only by trying and constantly practicing at work can we reap the joys and achievements that come from work. So, how do you have peace at work? The best way to turn every working day into a happy one is to learn the 2 words for letting go. So what kind of things do we need to let go of? We need to let go of useless emotions. I once heard somewhere a very interesting phrase like this, mood cost. People say that if our mood drops for a minute, it will take us a minute to solve that problem. At work, the cost that you lose the most is hidden in your own mood. When your boss reprimands you for 3 minutes, you can spend the whole afternoon feeling upset and unable to concentrate on work, and your colleagues face problems. It's about pushing responsibility onto each other, blaming you, making you feel skeptical about this environment, hate your job, and even want to quit your job. Or, when you encounter a task that you find very difficult and stressful, you may spend several sleepless nights, which causes your performance to decline throughout the week. In this world, wherever there is work, there will certainly be difficulties and challenges. Wherever there are 2 or more people, there will be complicated relationships, no matter where you go to work. No matter what job you do, even if you work freelance, you still have to deal with relationships with partners, and you still have to deal with difficulties and complications. Sometimes the obstacle to your work is not due to your ability, but rather to your own mood. Michael, a leader of the marketing team, has worked for 2 years at a company. One day he worked overtime until 9 p.m. when he was exhausted. As soon as he got home, his boss texted him and blamed him for why he hadn't been focusing on work lately. Seeing this message made him cry and angry. He immediately got up and picked up the phone. He recounted how much he had devoted himself to his work today and that presenting his work was not easy. No matter how difficult it is, compose a message for a long time, write a lot, and at length. But after a moment, he woke up and calmed down again, then began to ask himself, if he were the boss and saw his employees discontent like this, would he understand? On the contrary, of course he will never be understood. Finally, Michael quietly deleted all of this message, but only left one sentence: I will review the recent problem and quickly improve. Because he controlled his emotions, Michael began to find the problem right in himself when he looked back at his best friend's problem. He became more effective at his job and was quickly promoted to a higher position. Nextflit has an extremely famous recruitment culture like this. We only recruit mature people. The so-called maturity here is not only about age, but above all about emotional maturity. Maturity people will not lose their strength in a moment of suffering and become angry and act out of anger, nor will they show their sadness to those around them due to unsatisfactory things. And also do not bring personal emotions to work that affect the progress of others. If you want to be successful, you need to let go of these useless emotions. No matter how resentful you are, you should do the important things well first. Here, it is the necessary attitude of maturity people. Emotion spelled emotion, action spelled motion. You see, you just need to let go of the first E. Let go of your feelings of resentment, anger, and sadness, and you can take action immediately. It's useless to let a minute of your mood be consumed internally. It's better to use it to solve work than to spend a minute thinking about bad people. Use it to develop yourself. At any time, letting go of useless emotions and cultivating your own personality is the best way. The second thing is to let go of poor quality busyness. Someone asked me a question like this: why work so hard and be busy all day without seeing any progress or achieving any achievements? The answer is that it's because, for big things, small things, whatever you care about, our human energy is limited. If we cannot find the important point to focus on, we will fall into a state of poor quality busyness. Warren Buffett once made a life plan for his personal pilot. He asked the pilot to write down his top 25 goals on a piece of paper, and then asked him to choose the top 5 goals, which he must complete first. In the end, Buffett told the pilot to avoid investing time and energy in the remaining 20 goals and, at all costs, to focus all his energy on completing the first 5 goals. Selective focus is far more important than being blindly busy. Haruki Murakami wakes up at 4 a.m. every day just to focus on writing. For 4 to 5 hours during this time, he will not meet anyone and will not deal with anything other than focusing on writing. Mark Zuckerberg asks himself every morning, is what I do now the most important thing I can do? If the answer is yes, then he will feel that his time was not wasted. Never use busy diligence to cover up your laziness. We must learn to let go of 80% of the small things and focus on the 20% of truly important work. This is the best way to work. The third thing is letting go of past experiences. I once read a story like this. A donkey crossed a bridge with heavy bags of salt on its back. As soon as he slipped and fell into the river, the salt quickly dissolved into the water, and he suddenly felt much lighter on his back. The donkey was happy to think that he had found a good way to lighten his burden. Right after that day, while carrying a few flowers on his back across the river, he jumped into the water. As a result, the cotton soaked up water, so it became heavier than his body, and the donkey drowned. If you always think that holding on to past experiences will make you do anything, you forget that this world is actually changing very quickly. Perhaps at some point you will have to pay a very high price for this. Or you will lose opportunities to develop at work. Discovered that a lot of people can't grow at work because they fall into this mindset of being like a donkey carrying salt. Jack Welch, former CEO of General Electric, has many years of experience in business and has repeatedly created miracles. Someone once suggested to him that he summarize his management experience into a book. But he laughed humorously and said that then he would have to find the trash to look it up. For many years, Jack never kept a record of his experience. In his view, staying in the past has only become a limitation. You will never arrive at the new place of learning knowledge with a completely new mind. Let go of old experiences, and you will be able to get your hands on the best ways of working. Psychologist Cal Newport proposed the theory of self-determination. He points out that there are 3 factors that motivate people to stick with a job. It is autonomy, competence, and belonging. The most important thing here is still being proactive. Realizing self-worth and meaning in work connects you with work members. This will make you feel like you belong to that collective organization. This will naturally provide you with a source of energy that maintains joy in your work. Therefore, many people may have to go through countless hours of work to find a job that is right for them. On the surface, the reason why we hate our job may be that the salary is too low and the overtime has too many tasks that are too heavy. But in the end, the reason that makes us feel tired of this job is that we cannot regulate our emotions, and also not being able to clearly define yourself. Let go of resentment, invest more in yourself, let go of past experiences, determine what is really important to you. This is the way to help you work best. If you can't find a suitable job, learn how to work best. When you adjust your mentality and think from a different angle, all problems can be solved. Thank you for listening. If you feel this video is useful, please share it with those who need it. Give me a like, press the subscribe, and turn on the bell. Notice to watch the latest videos every week again. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.